That's right. We've talked to city and Harris County leaders as well as police and sheriff deputies. They all say the same thing across the board. They're seeing an increase in violent crime and also children falling victim of the rise in crime here. Now, they are saying that it's going to take more than just one agency to help make a difference.
It is absolutely heartbreaking and horrifying.
A 9-year-old in critical condition after she was shot in the head during a road rage incident Tuesday night as her family headed to a grocery store in Southwest Houston. A 13-year-old shot 3 times in broad daylight Tuesday afternoon while in a grocery store parking lot across from Sharpstown High School. 11-year-old Darius Dugas II shot and killed while getting his coat and other items out of his mother's vehicle last Thursday. These are just 3 cases in less than 1 week where children have fallen victim to the rise in violent crime.
It speaks to the need for us to come together as a city to fight crime. I said it before and I said it again. I'm sick of it and the senseless violence. And if you think for one moment law enforcement is going to stand by and let this just continue to happen, you got another thing coming, and we just need to come together and do what we do. The commissioner, I know that they're going to speak with the bail bonding industry. Everybody needs to sit at the table. Nobody gets a pass.
The Children's Assessment Center has seen an increase in reports of children in Harris County who have experienced sexual abuse or violent crime-related trauma. The executive director echoing Houston Police Chief Troy Finner's message that the community has to come together and give children the help and support they need.
Please understand that they see these stories on the news as well, and these things that are happening in our community affect them as well. So our job is to protect those children, get them the help that they need, talk to them, and make sure that they understand that you're there and you love them and you can protect them.
Now, the executive director that you just heard from, she also suggested for parents who even may have children who may have not been a victim, but are just seeing all of this on the news, to talk to your children if you've seen a change in their mood or a drastic change in whether they want to, be in social settings or anything like that. Make sure you have conversations with them and get them the mental help they may need. It may be all due to anxiety, just seeing all of this unfold. Now, also coming up tonight at 6:30, we'll have more on the 2 crime prevention initiatives that Harris County is starting to launch here within the next month. Reporting live, Roxy Bustamante, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Welcome to Straddled Events. On this channel, we bring you the truth. Sometimes the truth is quite ugly, unbearable, and you just don't want to deal with it. But on this channel, you're going to get it anyway. Meaning, you are straddling between the fence of good versus evil, right versus wrong. And on this channel, we're going to tell you to do better. Let's go.
I think we all need a pep talk.
Very possible that these big idiots have made a huge mistake by having these little idiots.
I am doing this video as a public service announcement to the communities around the USA with all of this gun violence going around. These kids are getting caught in the middle of all this. Their little lives are being snatched away, and it's not right. I need you parents to step up and really take control over your children, your teenagers that's around here packing guns and having gunfights, getting into shit. At some point, this shit has to stop. It is so out of control. It's gonna take more than the police to fix this problem. It's gonna have to start in the home, with the parents, with the family. Y'all know damn well y'all got children that's out there bad, uncontrollable. You can't tell them nothing. Some of you parents are single ladies and it's really hard to raise a boy. Y'all need to get these young men into a group of men that will give them some stern direction and put them on the right track. And if you know your child is out there stealing, killing, robbing, and doing all of those stupid stuff, you need to do something about it and turn your own child in, because you're not helping them. If you know your child is walking in your door and he has nobody's job that he's going to work on, but he's walking in your door with brand new items, that's on you, parents. Because if you know you have not given your child money to buy anything and your child is coming in with new things, you might want to sit down and think about, where is he getting these items from? Are you checking your firearms to see if they've been fired? Are they locked up under lock and key? I mean, I just don't know what to say because this is so bad. This is terrible. And it's not just in one city in the USA. It's like the whole damn USA just gone buck wild. School, they talk back. They won't pull their pants up. They won't pull their dresses down. It's just out of control. And it starts in your home. You know your child is walking around with his pants below his ass and all of his underwear is showing. It ain't nothing looking good about that. And you know your daughter is out there looking overly grown than what her age is, wearing short, tight stuff, doing crazy stuff. Y'all have to get it together. Enough is enough. When y'all gonna do something about this? Where are the men in the communities? Where are y'all? The women need y'all help with these young boys out here. They need help with these kids, men. Y'all need to step up to the plate and do better. And what happened to the church? The church used to be involved in the communities with after-school programs, summer programs, all kind of stuff. You used to be able to at least take your child to the church and they get some type of strict discipline from the church. Your churches, y'all need to do better too because y'all taking people money, but you're not investing nothing back into the community. It's going to take the churches, the schools, the principals, the police, the parents, the neighborhood. Every damn body need to get involved to fix this problem. So when y'all going to start? Just do better. You can do better. The next clip you'll see is a chart that shows how many children have been killed since January the 1st. This website is called the Gun Violence Archive, and what it does, it tells you about the children that have been killed, and it is in the most recent day, current. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see as I see it. So basically, it gives you the incident ID number, the date, the state, the city, the address where it happened, and whether somebody was killed or injured. So let's look at the very first one. You go over here to view the incident, and it tells you about what happened on February the 9th in the 2400 block of Meyer Avenue Southwest. The type of a victim, it gives the victim's name. She was 2 years old. And she was killed. The suspect is an 18-year-old male, and apparently he was injured. And you come on down here, and it'll give you any notes. Toddler killed, man with GSW placed under police watch at hospital. Possible DV attempted murder-suicide. One gun was involved. And if you keep going down, you can go out here and click on some of these links, and it will tell you exactly what happened with the news incident. What happened on the news about the incident. And this is a beautiful little old girl. So that's how this website works. Let's go back. And at any rate, it is in the most current day. It goes all the way down and it goes by date. And what I can tell you is that on this first page, it is 45 children killed on this first page. That's what this is about. All these children that are getting killed. And if you go over to the second page over here, it starts with January 12th. So what I was trying to do is just go from January the 1st, how many have been killed. So if you take the 45 plus another 10, 55 plus the 4. So we're looking at 59 children have died since January the 1st. That's what this is about. So come out here and check out this website. It's called Gun Violence Archive.
13-year-old boy is recovering tonight after being shot this afternoon near Sharpstown High School. The boy was being picked up by a car outside a store on Bissonnette when the shooter approached the car and opened fire. That teen was hit 3 times, is expected to survive. As the driver of that car sped away to get to a hospital, an innocent child who was in that parking lot was hit by that vehicle. That child also taken to the hospital but will be okay. The gunman got away. It's not known what led to the shooting.
My family is numb right now.
Elaine Williams doesn't know what to think after someone shot her 9-year-old granddaughter, Ashanti Grant.
You can only cry so long till you feel like you don't have any tears anymore.
The tears came after the yells of absolute terror. Surveillance video from last night, just after 9, when Ashanti was shot, and what Houston police believe was road rage. Police say a vehicle pulled up behind the family of 4 near Southwest Freeway in Fondren, started shooting.
Somebody started shooting in the vehicle, and they called her name and she didn't respond.
Tonight, Ashanti fights to live. Shot in the head, this child on Houston streets. Not much tonight about how she's doing.
They said that she may have moved, her toes a little bit, but past that, we don't have any updates, nothing.
Tonight, all this family has is hope that Ashanti will pull through, hope she'll live, while fighting to understand why.
Everything going on with guns and people being allowed to anybody can have a gun these days, and they don't have to get a permit, they don't have to get checked out.
Houston police asking anyone who may know anything to give Crime Stoppers a call. That number 713-222-TIPS. Meantime, the family has a GoFundMe account set up to help with these medical costs. Click2Houston.com has everything you need to know about that. Live on the Southwest Side, I'm Brandon Walker, KPRC 2 News.
At 13 News Now at noon is back. We are following the latest in the investigation into missing 4-year-old Cody Bigsby. Just before noon, Hampton police gave their latest update in the search for the little boy. Let's toss things over to Dan Kennedy now. So Dan, what do we know so far?
Well, Ashley, we're seeing new details in this case every day. Parts of the investigation that you need to know about here. Of course, 4-year-old Cody was reported missing at 9 Monday morning by his father, Corey, who's becoming a key character in all this. Now, when police started investigating the 4-year-old's disappearance, they said that Corey's timeline was not adding up. So then that led police to describe Corey Bigsby as a person of interest on Wednesday. Important to note here, Bigsby had been at police headquarters voluntarily all week answering questions, and we just heard from the police chief not too long ago saying he was aware of his rights and never asked for an attorney. Now, as part of this investigation, Hampton police started ramping up searches, and we're not just talking about on the ground, we're talking about by air, by water, and they also needed background info on Corey Bigsby, and they asked the public to come forward with any of that information. Corey confessed to leaving his children alone on 2 separate occasions, and that led police to arrest him last night on 7 felony child neglect charges. He made this virtual court appearance this morning. And Casey Baylor is joining us live now. So Casey, what have we learned about these charges that he is facing, not necessarily in regards to the son's disappearance?
Right, Dan, you mentioned those 2 instances in which Corey is accused of leaving his children alone. These court documents show that those 2 instances happened within the last 2 months, one recently within the last week. Now, it also states police interviewed Corey Bigsby the day he reported his son, 4-year-old Cody Bigsby, missing, and then that's where these court documents say he confessed to leaving his children unsupervised. Now, according to this criminal complaint, Bigsby told police he left his his 4-year-old and twin 2-year-olds alone for more than 3 hours on December 13th so that he could buy a vehicle in Norfolk. Police also say he left them home again alone with his 5-year-old on January 25th for about 2 hours to visit several locations. Now, both times the children were without any adult supervision. He told police the children were, quote, too much of a burden to take with him when he leaves his home. Now, this morning we spoke with Bigsby's lawyer, Jeffrey Ambrose, and Ambrose says he is still waiting to speak with Bigsby.
I was told that he was not going to be provided my card when I gave it to officers. I was advised that he would not be told that counsel was present to speak with him, and that he would not be told that an attorney had been retained by his family on his behalf.
Ambrose also told us he plans to sit down with Bigsby this afternoon. Now, Bigsby is expected to appear in court again on Tuesday. We're live in Hampton. I'm Casey Baylor for 13 News Now.
Okay, Casey, thank you. And not too long ago, Hampton Police Chief Mark Talbot provided an update on the investigation into Cody's disappearance. Allison Basil continues our team coverage. So, Allison, what did the chief say?
Ashley, Chief Mark Talbot tells us this is easily one of the most comprehensive investigations that he has ever been a part of, and he tells us the investigation will only get more intense from this point. Now, yesterday, he says police arrested Corey Bigsby, Cody's father, and charged him with 7 counts of felony child neglect. And like Casey mentioned, those incidents do not pertain to the search for Cody. Chief Talbot says police became more and more concerned and lose a little bit of hope each day that passes without a sign of Cody. Corey's attorney, Jeffrey Ambrose, tells me and Casey that police denied him the chance to see Corey Thursday afternoon, and once his family retained Ambrose as an attorney. Chief Talbot says Corey is a 43-year-old man who is aware of his rights and at no time asked for a lawyer when he was at police headquarters voluntarily. Police say the search will continue.
We have many interviews to conduct. We still have areas to search, and we have many leads to follow. We will not stop here with this arrest.
And Chief Talbot also tells us that all the partner agencies that are helping them out are going to stay on and have agreed to keep looking for Cody. For now, live in Hampton, Allison Basil, 13 News Now.
Allison, thanks. Yesterday, forensic teams with the Hampton Police Division entered the apartment where Cody Bigsby lived with his father and siblings. A police spokesperson said this is just part of the overall investigation.
Now, police say they're exhausting all resources as the search for Cody continues into day 5. Hampton police called Suffolk for backup yesterday to help better communications while out in the field. Investigators are focusing their efforts at the Buckrow Point apartments where Cody and his father live. Now, the search radius spans about a mile from their home. We're keeping a close eye on new developments. We'll let you know the moment we learn more. You can also get updates on your phone with the 13 News Now app. To download it, scan the QR code on your screen. A link to our website will pop up.
Our team coverage on Cody's disappearance continues with a look into his father, Corey Bigsby. His time in court yesterday. Corey faces 7 counts of child neglect. The father admitted to leaving his kids home alone when he headed out to run errands. Aisha Tolliver brings us more on this part of the case.
It's been 6 days as Hampton police, the FBI, family, friends, and the community continue to search for 4-year-old Cody Bigsby. Cody's dad, Corey Bigsby, was recently arrested on 7 counts of child neglect. This stemming from incidents court documents say where he would leave his kids, all 5 years old and under, home alone. But how did it get to this point? Could this have been prevented? Well, we may never have the answers in Cody's case, but Dr. Viola Von Eden, who's an NSU professor and consultant for the nonprofit Champions for Children, says in general, most child neglect and abuse starts with stress.
We know that certain people have more aggressive personalities, but in general, the day-to-day issues are the people who are under a lot of stress and can't manage the stress.
She says prevention starts with education, which can come in the form of webinars, Zoom chats, activity ideas, and local programs. The big thing for parents, she says, is understanding it's okay to ask for help. When it comes to the community, she says, if you see something, say something.
If anyone sees their neighbor leaving their child, that is the time to intervene, not after the children have burned the house down or swallowed some poison or go missing. And if you're not comfortable going over and knocking on the door, that's the time to call the police or call social services.
Moving forward, Dr. Von Eden says ending corporal punishment would be a big start for kids. She says research shows it can harm the child's brain, increase anxiety, and teach aggression.
I've not had a single child death case in which at some point there wasn't spanking involved.
I'm Aisha Tolliver. It's on your side.
We are hearing from the mother of Ariana Delane. She is the 4-year-old girl who was shot on New Year's Day. She was one of a number of children shot in the past 2 months. Now, her mother is working to make sure that we keep this from happening to other families. Our Sion Rhodes has that story.
It's been a long journey, and we're still going.
That journey began January 1st.
At about 2 in the morning, that's when we heard shots coming in, and Ariana jumped up and said, "Ow, I've been hit." She was covered in blood.
Bianca carried her daughter downstairs, and the family frantically began calling 911.
We contact HPD, no answer, no answer. I drive my daughter to the hospital myself.
Ariana was then airlifted to Texas Children's Hospital, where they discovered she had 3 broken ribs, a punctured lung and liver, and COVID-19. She was in the ICU for a week, unable to breathe on her own, and had 3 blood transfusions.
I just couldn't believe it. It was overwhelming.
She's back at home, but still has a long road ahead.
Ariana is traumatized. She doesn't sleep by herself. She hears loud noises. She's scared.
And nearly 6 weeks later, her family still has questions about why Houston police didn't arrive until hours later.
I called at 2:30. We called 7 or 8 times. They arrived 4 or 5 hours later the next day. The sun was up.
5 hours, really, that's no good. Somebody has to be held accountable.
HPD says the investigations into the delayed response and the shooting are ongoing.
I don't feel safe. I feel like my city has failed me.
With each news report of another child victim of gun violence, Bianca relives her own pain.
No parent, nobody should have to go through that.
But she's doing something about it, starting a nonprofit called Ari Strong.
I created Ari Strong to help families who went through traumatic experiences like myself. Nobody talks about what we go through when we go home, and we're still mothers. We still have to be a parent. Mentally it's draining, emotionally it's draining. I don't know why we were targeted, but I'm gonna take this pain and I'm gonna make it some purpose.
Bianca says she's also looking for legal assistance as she seeks justice for her daughter and answers about HPD's delayed response. If you'd like to learn more about her foundation, Ari Strong, and how you can help Ariana's recovery, head to this story on our website, click2houston.com.